Thank you for tuning in to Homeschool Homesteaders. Today we're going to convert a living room into a master bedroom slash bath. And this video is only going to be part one, the master bedroom. This is my house. I circled the window, which we are going to convert into a master bedroom. And recently I had a video where I redid all of the windows and the siding on the front of my house and the roof as well. Now here is a simple blueprint of what we have to work with. It is 12.5 by 26 living room, which will become a master bedroom. Now here is an exaggerated before. Keep in mind our house is not this messy. We just shoved a bunch of stuff into this room to make it more dramatic when we changed it. And we already started clearing things out. The living room also had a small bathroom, which we are entering right now, and it's very ugly. We did buy this house cheap, so obviously the bathrooms were not the best, but this bathroom will have a big transformation, so stay tuned. The bathroom will mostly be in the part two of this video, but just so you guys could see what we had to work with. So we will obviously make the bathroom bigger, and when things should be done, this is what we should have. Here you can see I'm slowly removing the sheetrock, making a big mess in my room. People did criticize me in my previous videos that this is just a waste of money. However, if you're going to do a major transformation, I do suggest spend a few $1,000s and change the sheetrock and insulation. And I'm going to show you why as we go throughout this video. But also be careful so you do not get hurt, such as I did right here. As I was removing sheetrock, here's a picture of how the framing looked behind the sheetrock. Here, it's my screen door, and above the screen door, he had one 2x10 and stuffed with insulation. Totally not up to code. And yes, removing sheetrock from your walls will create more work for you, but if you're going to live in this house for a very long time, such as I am, you want to do a good job whenever renovating. This window, same thing, it only had one 2x10, which is totally not up to code. I'm not sure how the house stood up all these years. And as you walk around and you check the insulation, obviously very bad job. You see indents, you see seams. And keep in mind these seams, this is where all of your energy bills went. So insulation has to be fluffy. You can't stuff it. You can't shove it. It has to be like puffy, fluffy, whatever. And so obviously the previous builder, whoever did this, I'm not sure how the inspection passed, but it's a very bad job. Number two is you need R28. This insulation is R21, so not up to code. We also had some vents in our house that did not work, and when I removed the sheetrock, I see why. This vent should be attached, but it wasn't. Fell off somehow, and all this time the heat and cold air was blowing inside the cavity instead of the vent. I did remove the screen door because I do not want a screen door in my bedroom. I use cinder block for the lower half of the wall. Then I used 2x6 to frame out the window. I put build right, siding, everything. And once we go inside the house, this is how the new window looks instead of the ugly screen door. Windows in a bedroom must be a certain size, so in case of a fire, you could easily climb out. Here where I live, it is 20 inches. That's minimum clear opening. 24 inches minimum clear height, otherwise 5.7 square feet, and the maximum sill height is 44 inches off the floor, so something to consider. Here is one of the windows I bought. Notice the size, the price, and the size, 3 feet by 48 inches. When you scroll down, you should see something that says meets IRC for egress. Yes, this means you could use this window in your bedroom. The lower part of my wall is made out of blocks. That is not up to code per insulation. This is why I am building the half wall. And so I'm going to stuff it with rigid foam. There's already rigid foam against the cement, and when I build a wall, I'm going to stuff each cavity of this half wall with rigid foam insulation, and they'll give me a plus 28 R28, so way above the R28. Keep in mind that all bottom plates have to be green treated. And the best tool to nail in anything into a cement floor is this tool. I tried every single tool out there, every single method. This is still by far the best. You load in the nail, put in the little bullets, and then you place it where you need to and get ready to pound with a hammer. Oops. As you are watching me install an outlet, I just want to say a few things about electricity. Where I live, we have a county inspector. So it's a separate electrical inspection that's separate from the regular inspection. Electrical inspectors are much more nitpickier than the regular inspectors, so make sure you do a good job whenever doing electricity. So basically all outlets have to be 6 feet apart. You could have one circuit that goes into your master bedroom, and so that's what I did. I had a 3-way switch, then I had a regular light switch, so nothing to it. There are some things that you have to watch out for, which I'll explain later in this video, but as of now, this is how long it takes me to install one outlet, and I probably had 18 of them. All receptacles along the outside walls have to be insulated. Number 2, electrical boxes that are for the ceiling lights, they have to be ceiling fan rated. So here is a footage of how they look like. I'm going to pause the video so you could take a better look at them. And I'm going to unpause it. And so basically they have some screws that you screw into the truss or the joist, whatever you have, maybe even a 2x4. And even if you're not going to have a ceiling fan, you still have to have these per code. And so I have a simple LED lights, and kind of dumb. I'm not going to have ceiling fans, but if you want your inspection to pass, put these in. Something else electrical inspectors are picky about is you have to use the outside holes. You cannot use inside holes on outlet boxes that are deep like this. So 1.25 inches away from a 2x4 stud. This little canister is foam, and any holes that are left from previous wires or you drilled accidentally, they have to be sealed to prevent fire. So as the images show. So you could use yellow, but they prefer you use the orange one. And since you adjusted a circuit, you will now need an arc fault. So if you look at number 20, that's what an arc fault looks like. You will have to have that installed. So I just gave you a few electrical tidbits that you must have to look out for. Keep in mind the list is not exhaustive. There are plenty of things to do. Here I'm showing you how my room looked like prior to the electrical inspection. And so basically half walls, everything. So waiting for the inspector to come. And also I want to show you my closet. This is the closet underneath the staircase. Not a big one, but it'll do for now. Once the inspector is gone, you could insulate it. And so basically take them out of the packages, let them fluff up. You have to take pictures of anything that inspector cannot see, such as these cavities under the window. And finally, here you have a footage of me stuffing each cavity with insulation, R28 insulation. The best way to cut insulation is take a sharp knife from your kitchen, like I'm showing you here, and easily slice it. Number 2 is make sure you wear proper clothing, because I was itching for 3 days. Here I'll do some cool video editing and fast forward the insulation progress, but along the half wall I did rigid foam because regular foam might get wet, but rigid foam holds up to moisture a lot better. And I did it all along the half wall, several layers, and use like a 2x6 to pound them in, make sure they're perfectly cut. And once you get everything insulated, use some foam in case you left any seams. So cover everything with foam. The insulation you'll obviously cover with a 6 mil plastic, but you will need to caulk the plastic. So you'll use a tube like this. It's a acoustical sound sealant. You can't just use anything. You have to use this. And on the plastic, underneath the plastic, wherever there's an edge or whatever, the draft, so you will have to caulk it. So every single edge, every single seam, you will need this little tube. They are kind of hard to find, so make sure you shop around for them, maybe even order them online ahead of time, but this is what you need. And so here's the final inspection, final insulation before I have the inspector come in and inspect my insulation. Sheetrock is nothing fancy, pretty straightforward. I did it all myself as well. For the trim around the windows or the ledge on the half wall, I just use prime MDF boards 1x8 and then I rip them to the size that I need, as I am doing in this video. It's a lot of work and maybe I had to rip down a lot of boards. Also, I paint them ahead of time so I don't have to paint as much during the finishing. And this garage is something I built and I do have a video on my channel as well. Please feel free to watch it when you have a chance. This is how I do my windows. Basically, you cut them to the size you need, you glue them, then you will take a finishing staple gun or nail gun and you will nail off the boards. And this is the borders around the window. And I will show you how they look once you install them. You could definitely use a can of foam as I did up here. Very bad idea. Do not use this method, or use the rigid foam insulation as this clip shows. And so here's how it looks, kind of finalish without the outside trim. With MDF boards, you could use wood filler like this. You apply it to all the seams, let it dry out, then you sand it down. Then you use a primer of your choice, any primer would work, and you paint it. Keep in mind I'm doing this all with one hand because I am holding the camera in the other hand. But you will have a nice clean look, as I will show later on. Then you take this very expensive cabinet door trim paint, which is about $50 a can, and you paint all the trim in the room. And if you look at my window, notice how clean the lines look. You can't see the edges. This is what you want. Yes, it's dark, but if I zoom in, you could see it. And this is only one coat. And on top of the Dricor, you put down your choice of flooring. I chose waterproof laminate flooring. You don't need no underlayment. And make sure you have one continuous flow throughout the rooms. And this is the back window, final look. Notice how beautiful the lines are. We are going to turn on the lights, and this is the final project. And notice the trim, the white trim everywhere. We have a gray color, even though it looks purplish on this camera, but the trim was very expensive, around $800. And so just to remind you, this is a 12.5 by 26 master bedroom. There is a bathroom as well, and there's a closet, entry door, so very big master bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. The bathroom is part 2 of this video. Please feel free to watch it when I get it uploaded. But as of now, I am very happy the way this room came out. Here is the list of prices, and the total price for the living room came out to $7,550. So that's a complete makeover. And thank you for watching this video.